and good evening and good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are listening and watching from. I am Kelly Wahl, that's Wahl, and you are connected. Tonight, we are going to get in touch with you and some callers and talk about the cosmic energies that are happening as we really are dipping our toe even further into 2022. So at this point, we're in the waxing moon phase, and we still have an awful lot of Capricorn energy. And Capricorn is about leadership and loyalty, but also about creativity. So we have to learn to really be creative in shifting in our own mood. But more importantly, if we really wanted to make those resolutions or have a different outcome to this year, well, a lot of times we have a tendency to want to go back to the old ways because, well, they're what's most comfortable to us. And this is the part where we can tend to get frustrated. You know, I think about like when I'm dieting or trying to watch what I'm eating, and, you know, it's like you'll have 2 days of clean eating or walking, and then you're like, but I'm not losing any weight. Well, it takes time, and that's where patience and faith come into play. So we have to think about things in those terms that, you know, we set up our own timeline. And one of my favorite expressions is the fact that man plans and God laughs. So we have to learn to laugh with him and know that we're not being laughed at. So as we go into the rest of January, we also have a lot of influence on Venus. And Venus is in retrograde, and retrograde is all about the opportunity. Now we have to think of it as an opportunity to really review, reflect, retreat, perhaps rest, and go within is really the most important emphasis. Now, the fact that Venus is all about beauty and love, it's really about us authentically reflecting within and finding out the things that not only bring us love, but bring us to really examine or review. Another one of those RE words during a retrograde is to review how we are honoring ourselves. So if it's in retrograde, it means to go backwards. So it means to review and look within. So I'm asking you to really review what you would like in terms of self-care. And people think self-care is all about just bubble baths and eating chocolate and just, you know, oh, I'm having a self-care day. And it's really more than that. It's about really being aware of how you speak to yourself, how you think about yourself, and also being firm in boundaries so that you don't feel taken advantage of in your time or energy. Now, I'd like to touch upon that a little bit more, but we have Lisa calling in from Florida, and I'm just eager to connect with her. Lisa, are you with me?
I am. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for calling in and connecting.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. As I get into your vibration, I'd like to know the month and the day of your birth.
November 6th.
Okay, so we've got 6, 7, 8. I'm doing some numerology here. I love doing numerology, especially in January, because it really lets us know what's ahead for us personally in our own personal year cycle. So with, okay, we've got, you are in a personal cycle 5 year. Now I feel as though you've gone through a lot of transformation, which a lot of changes were kind of put upon you, and that it was another way of you learning to navigate. And I kind of get like the energy or the attitude of, well, what was my option? What was my choice? You know, it's like, I feel as though you've had a hard, like, grindstone that you've always been kind of going against in your life, and that you've always just had to do what is needed to be done. Can you relate with this energy?
I sure can.
Absolutely. I feel as though there was
Unfortunately.
a lot of places. I feel as though there was a lot like put on your shoulders from a very young age. I feel as though you had to take care of everybody in the house, especially even younger than you should have had to. Do you understand this?
Oh, I do. Yes, I totally understand.
So I feel as though, there were, you have siblings and that you are in the older demographic of where that falls. I feel a lot of responsibilities with you. And that I even feel as though when you started your own family, there was a lot of, just working through the hardships. And you yourself are a very hard worker. Work ethic was something instilled in you from your grandparents and your parents. Do you understand this?
I do. I was just speaking about that today.
Oh, little laws of attraction happening here. So, and I feel a little bad because I really feel as though, I feel like 2018 was a significant year of change for you. Can you reflect upon that?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can see before COVID is the bad thing.
Right. It's like, of course, the last 2 years have been all about change, but I feel as though this was like, I feel as though if you really looked, Lisa, at the last 2 years because of COVID, that you kind of made an opportunity of removing some people or relationships from your life as the excuse of COVID. But I feel as though something in 2018 really kind of shifted your foundation. Do you understand that?
I'm trying to think back. Nothing that pops out at me to say, because I've had something very significant recent happen, and I'm kind of like stuck there.
Mm-hmm. I feel as though as we tune into that, I can't get rid of this thinking about 2018. And I think when you sit down tonight, or perhaps right before you go to bed, when you kind of have some quiet time, you're going to kind of reflect on that, and you're going to say, oh, you know what, that kind of did happen. It was almost like a foreshadowing of things. Now, as you brought up, something, happened recently, I feel, of course, a great loss, that you are lamenting a loss. So there was a crack in the foundation, which makes you, it questions like your safety and security. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And,
totally.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said totally. I understand.
Yes. And, your heart is just so heavy. So, and I feel strongly that there was a worship, but I feel what you're lamenting is, was it a parent that passed? Did your dad pass?
No, it was a fiance.
Okay. Well, see, I got this masculine energy. And even though fiance, fathers have a tendency, for the most part, to be where we have safety and security, and they're the provider, and they want to take care of us. So those same qualities can be in our loved ones, in our significant others, in the male, energy that we are sharing with. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And sometimes I feel as though, fiancés, boyfriends, husbands, whatever, they make up for certain qualities that we did not get perhaps from a father figure. You understand?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I feel as though when I hear from him, and I get really congested in the lung area and difficulty breathing, and I'm hearing that it was sudden but not sudden. And I know that's very vague, but to him, it's like, even though he had some time, it was sudden. He still didn't realize that he's not here. Do you understand that?
No.
I just feel as though the energy that I am getting from this man is that he was robbed. He was robbed of time, that he's no longer here, and that he's having trouble with that because, like, to him, he still had hope of, like, beating this, is what I'm being told, and that he was going to come out of it. And that was that hope that brought him along. However, that's what he's having difficulty with, is the fact that I'm not here. So he's having trouble with that. And I feel as though because you two, your heart is connected, you're feeling like this unsettledness on top of your own grief because it was unjustified. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay. And he wants you to know that even though it's not fair, the true gift is the fact that you two found each other, and that time, faith, and even death cannot break or lessen the connection of love that you two will always share. And he says that very much, and I feel as though he might not have even been that eloquent, but it's almost as if he's telling me, my words are so clear now that I can see everything, like the bird's eye view is what he's telling me.
Okay.
But he also doesn't want you to be sad, but allow yourself to, because you are human. And this was a major loss. And don't let anyone define that, not even you, about your grief. And you're going to have to bathe in it before you can embrace it. But know that he doesn't want you to be sad, because you are the gift of love to him. And he wants you to keep that in your heart forever, is what I'm being told.
I will.
All right. So this year for you is all about change, but learning to accept that. And don't be so harsh about putting a timeline or even excusing your feelings or having to justify them to anyone. Allow yourself to work through your feelings on your own timeline. That's what I'm being told by Spirit.
Okay.
All right. I'm very sorry, but just really reflect on that love. Let it fill you up. Let your breath fill up your heart with that love. Every breath that you take is a reminder of the love that you two share, and that's directly from him and their angels and Spirit. So allow yourself to navigate through this. I wish you all the best, and I thank you. And you have support. You just have to be willing to ask for it.
Yeah, I generally don't do that. I take care of everybody.
Exactly. And this is the time
that's my
to get
job.
uncomfortable and say, you know what, I'm having a day. I need a little help. And reach out, because people want to help you, but they don't know how, because you have trouble accepting it.
Right.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. I hope this really helps. And just allow yourself to sit with this. And just, I keep getting, just allow.
Okay.
All right. Thank you much, Lisa, and bless you. All right. Yes, that is a very heavy-hearted thing to deal with, the loss of love, and to have it cut short when we have so much of a future ahead of us. And that's what we're here to do, people. We're here to connect. We're here to connect. Well, I'm here to connect you with your loved ones, and you too can feel them and reach them. But sometimes we get stuck. We have to get out of our own way. It's like asking a doctor to diagnose himself. You can't look objectively, and you're trying to force it. So next we have a caller from Nova Scotia, and I'm sorry, but I missed the name. Sheila. Sheila from Nova Scotia. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. Oh, I'm so glad to connect with you. I've always had an affinity with Canada for some reason, and so I welcome your call.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
And I keep getting, when I picture this, very picturesque, very pretty, but a lot of like land and very winter scenery, and that some people gripe about winter, but I feel as though you embrace it because there's a silence and a stillness that comes with it. Can you relate with that?
Yeah, sometimes when there's a lot of snow and then you go to get in your car and your car is completely covered in snow, like buried in snow.
Uh-huh.
Of that, I go inside and feel this. Won't want to get out, or I won't want to start the car
and you just kind of sit with it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel as like that's your time. It's almost like a form of meditation for you and for you connecting with source. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I also feel as though, do you have little children in the house?
Hi, sorry.
Do you have little ones in the house?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi. All right. I'm sorry, Sheila. Mercury retrograde is on the prowl, and we are not connecting very well. So we're gonna have to try it again another time. But as I was saying about Sheila from Nova Scotia, meditation. There's many forms of meditation, and it's simply about when you feel at peace, that Om presence, where you can really tune out the clutter. And I'm always reminded of the quote of how in the silence the teachings are heard, and in the stillness the world is transformed. And I take that quote to heart. I enjoy walking. I enjoy walking in cemeteries, actually, because I find the landscaping pretty. I like to read the headstones and look at the flowers and look at the dates, and it's very quiet. Sometimes at a park it's a little too busy, and there's people with dogs and babies and children and playing. So it's really like my own form of walking meditation. So whatever it is, or a lot of times I like to submerge myself in water, whether it's in my bathtub or a hot tub. Or before I tune in, like when somebody comes into my office and we sit down and we're about to do our reading, I have them perhaps shuffle cards or I get them a tea. But personally, I go into the restroom and I wash my hands. No matter if I did it right before they walked in or not, I go in and I let water run over my wrist and I wash my hands. And that's where I really like tune in. And I feel as though the water is a conduit for setting the tone. Now, when I was talking with Lisa, the first caller, and about how she's missing her fiance and she's lamenting not feeling him, yes, he's physically not here, but, if we believe as spiritualists that we are all energy and that energy is can never be destroyed, then people often question, why aren't I feeling my loved ones? What is going on that I just don't feel them? And as I started to tell Sheila how, it's about getting out of your own way and finding that quiet space where you can just be. And a lot of times we want it so badly that we're trying to force it, but we're also trying, what happens when we want it so badly is that we are actually putting up a block. And we have to allow the energies to come in. All right, we've got another caller from Victoria, Texas. This is, I'm sorry, one more time. Shiree. Ooh, how pretty. Shiree, are you with me?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I just love your accent.
Thank you. Thank you. Texas.
Yes, I know. I love it. Victoria, Texas. I was in Arlington, which is near Fort Worth, and I love the Fort Worth area. Are you near there?
Oh, yes. I think we're about 2 hours from there, if I'm correct.
Oh, nice. There's so much rich history in that Fort Worth area. I don't know. It was just, I really enjoyed it. So I'm like, I got a little Texas happening over here. Now, and I'm sorry, one more time, can you say your name for me?
Shiree.
Shiree. Thank you. Shiree. Very pretty. And
Thank you
what's
so much.
What's the month and day of your birth?
It's July 8th, 1991.
Oh, you're a youngin'. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
July 8th. So we've got 7 and 8, which is 15, which is a 6. Ooh, so this year for you, I feel as though, do you work with children?
No. I actually work with adults. I'm a caregiver.
Okay, so you are the caregiver. And I was getting that you work with children in a caretaking faculty, almost like a daycare center or a center of sorts, not like a school. But I was also, I think I got a little mixed up. It's you that has this childlike presence, this innocence, this silliness, this laughter, this wonder and awe is what I'm hearing. And that's why when you come into the facility, you work with, the older population, and you are a breath of fresh air to them, really. But it's because of your breath of life that you bring and your natural ability, because you are a Cancer. So, of course, you've been destined to be a caregiver.
Yes,
but I feel as though, as fun and as jovial as you are, there are days where you allow it, like when you leave work, you're still taking work home with you because you wear your heart on your sleeve and you want to take care of everyone and you want to help everyone. But sometimes that really weighs on you and drains you. Do you understand this?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And I also feel as though there's like an energy in your household where I feel as though people can kind of feel a little like jaded, where they're like, oh yeah, by the time you get home and you get done giving to everyone else, there's nothing left
to give
for the person that's kind of griping about this. You see where I'm going?
Yes.
And I really want to convey to you, and I feel strongly again that Archangel Gabriel works with you. He's God's messenger. He works with children. I keep getting that children vibe, but I think it's you. You have the childlike essence and energy, and that was a direct feeling or words that I was getting from Spirit about the wonder and awe. You are the girl that will stop and look at a sunset and get so just excited about, oh, did you see how beautiful that is? And all the colors. And some people are like, yeah, it happens every day. And you're like, no, but this one.
Yep.
And people,
I actually have a 1-year-old. So like, I kind of put that like playful mommy mood into it. So.
Oh, good. Okay, so the 1-year-old also, Archangel Gabriel is around you, and his color is green. And he also encourages people to write. So I don't know if you are journaling, but if you're not, I feel as though that's a way for you to kind of put work away for the day and not be so exhausted. It's like, I want you to look into putting tools into your arsenal, like spiritual arsenal, of how to protect yourself from not getting so drained, because you are such an empath. And that way, instead of the tank running low by the time you get home, and then you beat yourself up for feeling tired, when you're around your, you have a boy?
I have a girl. I did have a son before her, and he was 4 months old when he passed.
Okay, thank you, because I was like, no, I have a little boy here. So thank you, because, and again, the fact that I kept going with this Archangel Gabriel, I want you to know that your son is with Archangel Gabriel and like is working with him, and he's still connected with you. And I feel strongly that your daughter sees and speaks to Spirit and angels and her brother and Archangel Gabriel. And
that
was there
so
an issue?
Funny.
Go ahead.
That is so funny because you're absolutely right. I believe our family has a real strong sense with certain stuff like that. I don't never agree and say it or tell anybody. You're like the first person. But yes, since my son has passed, she sees his pictures and she just says, Bubba, Bubba. We say Bubba, and she just knows his face automatically. And then she, okay, hold on, Mama. And like, we'll be in the kitchen, or I'll leave out the kitchen, and she just is waving. Just waving. Oh. And I'm like, who are you? I'm like, you know what? It's okay. As long as it's, one of our relatives, we're fine.
Absolutely. And just this is the premise of how I believe. I believe God is all there is. God is good.
Yes.
Therefore, anything we do through or with God can only be of good.
Good. Absolutely right. Yes.
So encourage
Absolutely
that.
right.
I feel as though you should read books to her as well, but she sees him in orbs and know that he is with you and he is having fun and he is good. And he very much wanted to connect with you. He chose you as his mother on this earth plane, but his purpose was to give you hope that you will have a family. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
All right.
ma'am.
Thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure connecting with you. You keep having that jovial spirit, and
Yes, ma'am.
I look forward to connecting with you again.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. I am Kelly Wahl, and it has been an absolute pleasure. I love being a vessel for spirit, and you can tune in with me next Wednesday and connected with Kay Wahl on A1R Radio. Thank you very much, everyone.